I am Jacob Holt. I'm the principal here at Bret Harte High School, and just to give you a little secret, this is my favorite night of the whole night. That includes the day last year where we won the state championship. The girls basketball team won this weekend. This night is even better for me because this night is where we see that renewing of that excitement that it is to be Bret Harte Bullfrog. So there's a couple people I like to recognize that really make everything that your students have been able to experience today possible. So over here, let's see, it would be to your left, we have our Superintendent Scott Nanick, and our board members, Dr. Roger Orman, Gail Bundy, Kelly Sen, and Sheila Kerpin. And not in attendance yet, but is on his way, is Nick Valente. The reason I point them out is our school is special. Our school has, for the size of our school, we have a tremendous number of opportunities and offerings and things for students to do, explore, and become that person that they want to be, and ways to inspire them. And that doesn't happen by accident. That requires a lot of prioritization of our students and their needs, and that starts with our board and our superintendent. So all the things that our students got to experience today and that they will experience for the next 4 years is largely in part for that work that these people do behind the scenes, often thanklessly, but I wanted to thank them tonight publicly for that. It's much appreciated. Now, you have received, I guess the first question that's probably running through everybody's mind, when am I going to get my kid back? All right, so the way this is going to work, your students are still going through their tours of the campus. So they're still visiting auto or visiting art or our ag shop. They are still looking at our wellness room and connecting with our yearbook teacher, doing all of those pieces. They're going to continue doing that up until 6 o'clock. So they've been working on those tours for a couple hours. We get you for this little bit of time. So we will be in here until about 5:45 or so, and then after this part, we'll exit out the way we came in, take a right, go around those gates to the multi-purpose room, and then that's when you can sign up for the registration dates to pick courses for next week, or next week pick courses for next year. That's where you'll be able to talk to a number of our teachers and ask about programs and things like that. So we have you for a little bit of time, but our students will all come back up toward that multi-purpose room around 6 o'clock where you can collect them and take them on their way. I know you miss them. So what we have for you in this little folder, I wanted to talk a little bit about that. You got a few things there to help prepare both for next week when we meet to talk about classes for next year and for the beginning of next school year. And I asked our athletic director, Mr. Barnett, to talk a little bit about athletics, and I'll turn it to him in just a second. One of the things that you're going to see in your packet is a pink piece of paper. It has a course request sheet. So after today, hopefully your students' minds are all ablaze about what they can be doing in the next school year, in the next 4 years. Most likely they'll want to take like 8 different classes, and they'll be able to take 2. And so what I ask of you is start talking with your students about what they want to do. We'll continue that conversation with you and your student next week when we meet to talk about courses, but find out what they were excited about and jot it down on that piece of paper, and then bring that piece of paper with you next week so that we can get that all set up and ready to go. When we meet next week, I won't be able to tell you exactly what your student's schedule will be. I have to do all that work from the moment we meet until about mid-May. So until then, we'll have what we call your course requests. And we're trying to make sure we can fulfill as many of those primary course requests as possible. Sometimes we aren't able to, and so then students have the opportunity to take maybe a class their sophomore year they weren't able to take their freshman year. And after their sophomore year, they'll have even more opportunities to take more elective classes in their junior year, and yet more opportunities in their senior year. So what we're looking forward to is seeing the growth and exploration of your students. We deeply appreciate the trust you give us in working with your students. I was telling your students earlier today that our joy and excitement is seeing students come to us, today as 8th graders and leave in 4 years. That's a scary thought because that's quick. Ready to embark on their life. It is amazing, it's exciting, it's inspiring, and we can't do this without you. We want to partner with you, we want to work with you, we want to do all of these things. So it starts today. Oftentimes, parents are thinking, you're in high school, it's time to back off. And to a degree, yes. But you got to keep your eye on it. Because this is a time where students start making vital choices for their lives, and you want to be part of that. You want to be able to influence that. And so we'll ask you to talk with your students about some of those choices they're going to make. Think about some of the ways they're going to get involved in high school and figure out where their niche is. It's going to be a great time. I promise you that. If this is your first child coming through Bret Harte High School, thank you. I'm sure there's more than just you, but yeah, thank you. If this is your, I don't know, third, fourth, doesn't matter. If you have a child that's gone through Bret Harte School again, it's not going to be the same experience. It's going to be unique and special and different for every student. So I'm grateful that you're still here, that you don't think, it's old hat, it's just Bret Harte. No. Every year it's going to be different, it's going to be special, it's going to be exciting. Many of you have questions about athletics. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Barnett. What are you doing before that, though, we're going to show a little video about Bret Harte and what it's got going on.
Today is March 13th, 2024. On June 2nd, 2028, you will graduate from high school. March 13th, June 2nd, important numbers. But what really matters is what happens in between.
All right, I never get tired of watching that video. Every year it gets updated. And like I said, every year is special. There's things that in that video that happened this year, and then next year with our next crop of 8th graders, we'll have new things. And your students are going to contribute to that ongoing kind of history and saga of Bret Harte. And it is a glorious, exciting story. So now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Barnett.
Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Barnett, the athletic director here at Bret Harte High School. We just want to get you guys kind of excited for this, so let's see how you guys do. Let's see if you do better than your kids. Let's go, Bullfrogs. Okay, I will give it to you. You guys were much more enthusiastic than them the first time go around. We'll test you here in a little bit. As a previous Mark Twain teacher and knowing where you guys are coming from, this is exciting for me, not only for the academics and seeing what's going on with school and everything, but knowing where you guys are coming from. No longer are we going to be battling Avery versus Mark Twain or Mark Twain versus CFLC. We are putting you guys all together to go ahead and go beat on Calaveras or beat on one of those previous points. Right, so my excitement is seeing, and not that I've done this or anything, as the basketball coach, be like, ooh, that Mark Twain group pairs with Avery really well, and start putting those pieces together. I don't do that at all when I watch you guys play or anything. So we are very excited to see that you guys are finally all going to be Bullfrogs and representing the same colors, the same mascot, and the same school. So we have a lot of things going on athletically. We have some outstanding athletic programs. Some of you may know that we have traditional sports and things that we have going on, but we also have some other sports, and we have a lot of extracurricular activities that your kids can get involved with. earlier, as I talked to your kids, I had 2 TAs of mine that are seniors, and last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago, they were sitting and we were talking, and they were both crying because it's over almost, and they are like, man, this goes by really fast. We just had a World Culture Bowl that I thought, we just got an announcement, and we got all these jars in our classroom from Mr. Brady, and he's asking kids to put money into these jars for people to eat some absolutely disgusting things. And I emailed him, and I'm like, didn't we just do that a couple months ago? And he goes, Barnett, that was last year. So it goes by really fast. So just know that and have your kids as involved as possible. So at Bret Hart, we have a mission, and our mission is really to give your kids the best experience in athletics, whatever we do. We have coaching surveys that go out to you guys for you to give feedback. You can communicate. We try and create everything to the best of our ability to give your kid the best experience while they're playing sports and really anything that we have here at Bret Hart. We want you guys to communicate with us. We're hoping that your coaches are communicating with you, and we're just trying to move through those things. We have some outstanding things happening on campus. Mr. Holt talked about, we had a girls basketball team win a state championship. We have our track team, boys and girls JV varsity, are back-to-back league champions. We have cross country, back-to-back section champions. Wrestling won a section championship 2 years ago. So we have a lot of things happening here at Bret Hart. We're really, and in my eyes, hopefully it sounds like our football team is rejuvenating, and we are going to have a good team looking going forward. And we are looking at something that maybe many of you guys do not know, that we are no longer in the original MLL. And some of you guys might not know that. We no longer will be playing Sonora in MLL games. We will no longer be playing Argonaut or Amador High School. We are now venturing down to the Valley, and Big Valley Christian is now in our league. Linden High School is now in our league. Riverbank is now going to be in our league starting next year. So some things are changing, and now your kids are going to get to play kids that they maybe have never seen before, because we do play in the Valley. You're tired of playing Ione and Jackson, and maybe now you're starting to play the Somervilles, which we haven't seen, and some of the Valley schools. So things are changing, okay? We have these sports. We have water polo. These are our season of sports. I know my daughter is playing volleyball and softball currently, and she runs cross country, and so I know when she gets to the high school, like your kids, you're going to have to make a choice, because volleyball and cross country are the same season. The question came up earlier that some of the kids were asking, can we play 2 sports? It depends, and it really depends on communication with coaches. We've had softball players run track, we've had baseball players run track, and we've had some things happen, but it really comes to communication.
Do you guys let special needs do athletics?
We do. It all depends on the situation too. That's one of the things as we start getting to the high school. We are all following CIF guidelines, CIF protocols, and it is a competitive thing. We go to schools and we will play some schools that, like when we play Sonora, I know for basketball, they'll sometimes have 45 kids come out for 12 spots on a freshman basketball team. We have situations where we're choosing who are the top 12, top whatever team, but not on every situation. So that does happen. So these are our sports. The new ones, the traditional ones that you see are the volleyball, basketball, baseball, cross country, but we do have water polo, we do have swimming, we do have tennis, and we do have golf for both boys and girls. So we have dance, we have cheer, and we do have esports. So having your kids get involved keeps them out of trouble. It helps time go by. It helps them have to maintain grades, because we do have expectations. And CIF has special guidelines that you have to have at 2.0. Every incoming 8th grader starts off fresh and clear, but as soon as that first quarter hits, that is when they get hit with academic ineligibility, and then they may be being removed from a team or maybe joining a team, and then that happens at semester, 3rd quarter, and at the end of the year, which carries over from freshman to sophomore year fall sports. So you are allowed 1 F based on CIF protocols, but you also have to have 2.0. If you have two Fs but still a 2.0, you are no longer eligible to play CIF athletics. And almost all of our sports fall under CIF, San Joaquin section protocols and bylaws. So that's more, if you have questions on that, you're reading stuff you probably don't want to be reading. So come talk to me if you have questions on that. We have attendance requirements. A student who has to maintain proper attendance. So we are on a block schedule. They have to attend at least 3 periods on a block day, and on a full 7-period day, they have to attend 4 out of the 7 to be eligible. And every coach gets a monitor of eligibility daily. And if a kid shows up the last period of the day because they've been sleeping at home and then show up, they're ineligible to participate that day. If they do not attend school on a Friday, they are not eligible to play on a Saturday. So we do have some guidelines that pick up that you guys have to check out in the student handbook, the athletic handbook, and things like that. Okay. Moving on, we have a game day attire. We expect kids to step up to the plate. We want them to rise. We want them to look good, feel good, and play good. And so we have those kind of things are in the handbook. We have expectations at practice. Your coaches should have procedures, protocols, and expectations, and probably something that you should sign. And if they don't, you might want to talk to me as the AD and say, hey, we haven't heard anything, so that we can help that coach better communicate with you to create a better experience. Okay? So, right here, you guys are going to see in the athletics, we used to let you guys sign up at the athletics booth at this event, but now what we've created is a QR code for you to go ahead and put in information for your student. I have a bunch of these QR codes there in the multi-purpose room. You guys can give us our information. Based on those things of CIF, our coaches are not allowed to talk to your kid until they have graduated for 8th grade, or else we are violating pre-enrollment contact. We're good? Okay, pre-enrollment contact. So if you go on and you put in your information, we do summer athletics. I was telling your kids, as the basketball coach, your kid graduates on Friday, May 31st, I believe, and Monday, your kid has a summer Bret Hart basketball game at Esquan if they decide to choose to play basketball. So freshmen have a game June 3rd at Esquan. You're going to have to go through the proper Sportsnet, clearing your student. It's all in your packet. If you have questions, see me. Your student is going to have a physical, which on May 22nd, thank you to Dignity Health, they have donated their doctors to create a physical. Normally we do this as a fundraiser for the athletic program. Dignity Health is donating. Your physicals are free this year on May 22nd. So on May 22nd, you'll show up, you'll register. If you do that, your kid will be registered, ready to go for summer athletics. We have summer athletics going through June, which is girls basketball, boys basketball, volleyball, football, water polo is looking to do some things. Cross country does some summer running. So there are a lot of programs doing some things over the summer. So that's a lot. A lot of this is in your packet. The physical night at Dignity Health across the street is inside your packet. It should say Wednesday, May 22nd. It's open enrollment, 3:15 to 5:15. This is the easiest way for you guys to get your kid ready and cleared to play sports for the entire school year, and you are done after that night. What'll happen is your kid might not play something till the spring, like say baseball, and you don't do a physical. It's going to sneak up on you in the first 5 days of practice. Your kid is not going to be eligible to play sports because they haven't done a physical. So if you take advantage of the May 22nd day, that will really help you. So with that said, does anybody have any questions? If you don't have questions now and you think of them, I will be in the multi-purpose room. You can come up. You can ask me questions. Let's make sure everybody's awake. Let's go, Bullfrog. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. So we've come to the part where we can start getting you into the multi-purpose room. Again, if you have any questions about athletics, Mr. Barnett will be in the multi-purpose room along with all of our teachers, and they have booths set up. So what you'll do is exit out here, make the right, and the multi-purpose room is that big building just right onto your right. So go on ahead in there and start working out those areas. Thank you, and have a good evening.